morning, Christine.
Good morning, Ben. It's nice to see you and hear you and have you hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you today. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I think Sarah got here. I think Sarah might be on in a minute too. I think she came in early to be on.
yeah. Well, thank you for having me
Wow, it's good to
again.
have you.
Yeah.
These
Well,
cold
me,
temperatures makes it fun getting up this early, huh?
You
yeah.
know what? I have a dog, Mike. You met Mike, and he was in our picture, Ben, as you remember. And
Yep.
anyway, I have to take him out in the morning and it's early and I actually love the morning and it doesn't even feel that cold to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm just coming out of a hot shower and but the sky, oh my gosh, the stars have been amazing. So I'll do that and then I go back in and then I come to work, but then all of a sudden I get chilly once I'm like my body temps have settled down. But I do love this sparkly snow in the morning.
Well,
And
I
Matt,
find
you
I
ready?
started the meeting, so we're up and rolling.
Okay.
So we've kind of had some conversations before, and I'm sure a lot of people um, have already met Christine. But Christine is with the Ronald McDonald House, and we just wanted to bring her on to talk a little bit about what the donation did for her organization and a little bit about it. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Team ECI. Uh, you are amazing, each and every one of you. I am here to thank you so much for your $9,000 plus donation. I know it was given just in the most beautiful manner. I know some gave up vacation times, and you were all selfless and how you contributed to our charity. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the impact that that has had, which has been immense. We actually this is how we are sustainable. It's through donations, like you've given us. It's through personal donations, through companies, foundations, grants. We're not supported by McDonald's, although we do get money from the donation boxes and Roundup. So I encourage you always, if you're in a McDonald's, to do that. That is just a great another way that money comes to us, funding. So with the money that you have given the Ronald McDonald House, I just want to start by saying that if we just put it towards room nights and families staying here, that would pay for about 2 months for families who stay here. We say it costs us about $150 a night, and yet it costs families nothing, $0 to stay here. They are referred by the hospital. If they have a sick child that's in the hospital, they're referred by a social worker in the hospital. And it's a first come, first serve basis. So that's how they get to the house. Um, I was just telling Matt, I don't know what has been going on with January, but it's been a sad month here for families of many serious cases, which is really unusual. All the kids are going to be fine, but we've had a lot of trauma cases and um, strep throat. If any of you have children or grandchildren, I've learned, which I didn't know when I was younger, strep throat. Do not pay attention to strep throat. We have heard about some very sad cases last year and this year where kids don't tell their parents and then the infection grows. So we just had a 16-year-old leave yesterday. He had meningitis from the strep, and it was extremely serious. So um, I just wanted you to be aware of that. We last year we provided almost 1,600 nights to families, and close to 200 individuals and about 115 children that were served. If you come to the house as Ben and Sarah and Phil did, you'll see there aren't a lot of children here because they are at the hospital, although we do have siblings that stay when their brothers and sisters are at the hospital or on vacation time. So we have a beautiful it's a 12-room house, but we now rent out, we say rent, quote unquote. We don't rent because we don't charge them rooms because since COVID, we don't like families sharing rooms. And on the third floor, we have suites, and those suites have their own bathrooms. But on the second floor, um, they have to share. We don't want them sharing a bathroom, so they have to go out in the hallway. It's essentially a bed and breakfast. We provide hot meal every night, and we encourage people to come together. And if you ever wanted to sign up and be a guest chef, it's something that it's a really wonderful thing for our families because we do need meals during the week. So we usually have 2 to 3 guest chefs during the week. They come in, they bring the food, they make a meal, we put it out, and the families get that. Or we freeze things and take it out. We have breakfast supplies here. You know, they have anything. Lots of times there's donuts. We have eggs. They can make their own breakfast. And we provide lunches that they can bring to the hospital. We have a relationship with Great Harvest. So we purchase turkey sandwiches from Great Harvest so they can bring sandwiches up there because we've learned that the hospital doesn't give vouchers anymore to everybody in the family, just nursing moms. The house is really a home, and we call it a home away from home, and it truly is. I think Phil could attest to that, and Sarah and Ben, when they came. We've got a dog, Mike. Mike is a 65-pound Labradoodle, and he is just a great addition to the house because so many families have to leave their pets at home when they come here. And we're asked what the average stay is. The average stay is about a week. But people can be here anywhere from 3 nights or 2 nights to months and months. We have a family here right now. They've been here, I think, 5 months. They're waiting. Their daughter, 7-year-old, is waiting for a kidney transplant. So she's getting dialysis up at the hospital. They come and go, but they're here, and they utilize the house, obviously, and it's like their home. We've got a beautiful basement for the children to run around in. There's a living room and dining room, and the kitchen is well stocked with snacks for the families. And another thing, if you were ever interested in checking out our website and our wish list, we always have things that can be contributed. And not that I'm asking you to do that, but if anybody's curious, because people do ask. So it really is, truly, it is a hopeful place. It's a great resource for families who are outside Chittenden County primarily. If you live in South Burlington or Burlington, you know, obviously you wouldn't need to stay here. But anybody beyond Chittenden County is welcome to stay. And we have about 60% of our families come from New York across the lake. So obviously it'd be really hard for them to go back and forth every day. Most of the cases, usually are primarily the cases are premature babies, and we've had babies, parents here with babies who have been born at like 25 weeks, and the babies are like 1 pound. You can hold them in your hand. So if you can imagine, what that means is that they have to stay at the house that much longer because their child was born so many weeks early, and they stay here until the child, you know, gets bigger and stronger and can go home with them. And the other thing that's really neat is they come back. Usually they'll come back, you know, after the child is a year old or months old, and they love to come back and visit and show us their children. And we love that. That's one of the perks of being here. We are in downtown Burlington. If you don't know where we're located, beautiful downtown Burlington. We now have a gate around the house, and we are in a perfect location, 1 mile down the street from the hospital, so they can walk to the hospital if they need to get up that way or take the bus. I'm trying to think, I don't know if anybody has questions. I can't see you, so I don't know if anybody has any questions or if I missed anything. What do you think, Ben? Did you have any takeaways when you were here, or anything I can add to this?
I did. The dog, what's his name?
Mike.
He's hypoallergenic.
Yes, he is. He's on the floor next to me. He's exhausted.
I thought that was neat that you were able to have a dog that was bred for Ronald McDonald House, right?
Yes, that is correct. So he was bred and trained to be at a Ronald McDonald House, specifically to be around children. And I think I said so many families have to leave their pets at home. So not a day goes by where not every family comes by and pets Mike or asks about Mike. And he really gives so much solace to parents who, you know, have left their pets at home. He's named after Father Mike from St. Michael's College. If anybody went to St. Mike's, Father Mike was a volunteer here, and I loved Father Mike, and he died unexpectedly. And at the same time, we were getting this black Labradoodle who had this white patch. So he's named after Father Mike. And Mike will be 10 years old in July. Yeah, he's a wonderful addition to the house, one of the family members. We have a small staff. There's 5 of us. I'm the only full-time person, actually. So, we're bare bones. I have an innkeeper who lives upstairs, Chris, and he's here 24/7. Or if he's not here, then we have weekend people that come in. So we're always looking, once again, for people if they're interested in meals or team building. The kitchen's beautiful, and it is really just a really wonderful thing and much appreciated by our guests who are staying here, going through so much.
Cool. Well, probably Matt needs to get on with his program.
Yes.
Christine, we're so happy that you're here. I know Sarah, I don't know if Sarah, I think she's on, but I wanted to make sure I acknowledge that she helped us put all this together.
Yeah. Sarah's been amazing. We've been emailing, and I appreciate Sarah very much, and all of you. And I want to say thank you to the big group. We love you, and we thank you for your generosity and for thinking of Ronald McDonald House. So you take care and stay warm.
You're welcome. Thanks for starting your day with us, and hope to see you around town.
Yes, thanks so much.
Thanks, Christine. Well, feel free to listen in.
Okay, I'm going to turn my camera off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So continue moving on. Good job this past week. 118 from our last recordable injury, 16 from our last first aid, and 52 from our last vehicle. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. As everyone has seen, pricing of automobiles has nothing but skyrocketed pretty much since COVID. The cost of when you do get in an accident, the cost of repair has also skyrocketed. So in light of that, what is happening is that's becoming a very big expense. It's almost, it's starting to become, something that we really need to track and follow, because it's almost costing us more in auto than it is in workers' compensation. So that's kind of what I want to talk about. We're seeing a lot of trends throughout the United States of this is not just an ECI problem. It's a global problem with a way more auto accidents than we see even workers' comp and work-related personal injuries. So it's becoming a big trend nationwide. So we want to make sure that we want to really highlight this coming year, because we want to really have a lot better year in 2026 than we did in 2025, because I'm going to share some of the stats, share some of the dollars. So hopefully it's a little bit of eye-opening that we need to really making sure that driving is a job. It's not a time to relax and turn off your brain and just go through the motions. It's when you're behind the wheel, there's the same amount of risk that there is than working in a 7-8 foot trench. So how did we do last year? So shout out to Ken Fierno. He did a kind of a deep dive in how many miles we driven last year, and we were over 1.1 million miles driven as a company. That's a lot. So it's a lot of exposure, a ton of exposure, the amount of miles that we put on together. And this is from anything from our F-150s all the way to our biggest trucks. We had 23 auto accidents resulting in a financial loss. 8 of those were claimed. We mostly only claim when we get in accidents with the public. When it's kind of ECI on ECI crime, when we kind of run into each other or back into each other, for the most part, we don't claim that. We have those kind of internal losses that we would go to Karen's, or the shop does their best job trying to repair in-house as much as we can. So we can see there those 8 claimed, which is it's high risk, high potential for extremely expensive losses. So those 8 claimed auto loss resulted in $87,000, which is pretty expensive. And that could easily go north of that if there's some bodily injury that was done. Say we rear-ended somebody and we put them into the hospital, and then they get an attorney. This can easily go 10, 20x that cost if we have those really severe auto loss, bodily injury accidents. And the captive that we're in, we're starting to talk about that as kind of captive memberships, because we're seeing these nuclear claims when people get attorneys and really try to really get some bodily loss claims out there. So again, I can't highlight the importance of driving, financially, but also personal safety. It's very dangerous out there. So we had 2 internal accidents. Those were about 27,000. So we in 2025 we probably lost about $114,000 in auto accidents, which is that could be a project for us easily. Some of the work that we get is that. So we want to make sure that we are really focusing, because safety is a job. We can save a lot of money by working safe and making good safe decisions and doing the best practices, what I'm going to talk about in a little bit. We lost 4 vehicles in 2025. We had 4 accidents. That post-accident, we had a total 4 vehicles, and that's another burden of losing and shopping and figuring out what a good fit is. There's a lot of decisions that go into that when we do lose a vehicle. So kind of a rough year on the auto side. However, if you look at how many miles, the exposure, and how we did compared to other companies, it's not terrible, but is there room for improvement? Yes. That's kind of the takeaway from this conversation, is hopefully that we focus and we really eliminate those unsafe behaviors that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. So the type of accidents, and this was kind of eye-opening for me. I kind of broke it down kind of into like 5 main categories. This is 4, but we do hit a lot of deer, so I wanted to kind of add that as well. And sometimes we can't avoid those deers out there, but we had 1 deer incident. But it was that backing, man. 52%, over half is backing, and backing can be preventable. We're trying our best with the pilot programs and putting a lot of backup cameras in all the vehicles, especially anything with a lot of blind spots. But again, for the most part, we're teams of 2, teams of 4, teams of 6 is out there. We have the potential to eliminate this backing by a good best practice that we'll talk about in the next slide. But I want everyone to really focus in on the backing, because if we can reduce our backing incidents, we can really save ourselves a lot of injury, or a lot of financial loss. 2, we left the roadway. That could be from being distracted, could be from losing of traction, or just kind of not paying attention. Those were 2 serious incidents where we left the road. The rear ending, okay, that one is usually a major financial loss, because usually there's bodily injury because you're slamming in the back of somebody, because it's either following distance, not paying attention, distracting, driving out there. We had a couple of cases of that, and then 22% was kind of sideswiping, where we're merging, 2-lane road, interstate travel, stuff like that, where cars connect. Quite a bit of those as well, and usually those can result in some bodily injuries as well. So that's kind of where we're at in 2025. I'm hoping we can improve on these numbers in 2026, but the biggest take home is really try to reduce some of these backing incidents. We've been talking about it for years and years and years. It's really time for us to get these numbers down more than we have previous. So our best driving behaviors, we're trying not to beat a dead horse here, but it's really, this is what you got to do. And you got to discipline yourself to eliminate the distractions, put the phone down, making sure that if you've got passengers with you, that they're scanning the road and helping you with any other roadway hazards, that you're not completely taking the burden and the responsibility. We kind of talked about the co-pilot. Tom did a really good presentation on that. Maybe that was like 4 months ago. We're going to circle that kind of those conversations around. And when we're driving together to and from job sites, we're on the clock and we're driving. We want to make sure that we're eliminating distraction. That is part of our job at that moment. at that point in time that we're behind the wheel and we're focused and we're scanning the road and making sure that we're not, there's kids, there's buses, there's animals, there's all these other hazards out there that we want to make sure that we mitigate and don't let those hazards overcome and win the day. And we get into those auto accidents. Seatbelts. We're doing a really good job lately with our big approach on unsafe driving behaviors, getting that information out and the information that we see from the cameras. But again, it's just a good, safe habit. Every time you're in the vehicle, click that seatbelt in. Watch your speed. Keep your distance from the vehicles in front of you. That helps with those rear end collisions. It's just always check your speed and keep your distance. And then a big one is that kind of behavior that we're starting to see a little bit of an uptick in the camera data that I'm seeing, is that yellow red light, those intersections where we're kind of pushing through those yellow red intersections. Again, the more you do that unsafe behavior, the more you're going to push through that red, and then you got somebody on the other end ready for that green, and they're going to hit, and you're running at the wrong time, and we're going to have a T-bone collision. It could be a very serious accident. So again, check it down. It's okay to be a couple minutes late if you have to be. Again, just communicate. We talked about that, the code of conduct, a little bit, but again, let's not be overly aggressive out there. Take your time. Try to be a little bit on the safety side of things when it comes to those types of behaviors. And then when it comes to the backing, it is spotters. It's the whole GOAL acronym. Get out and look. It's that tolerance, that risk tolerance of, I think once your mind says, I think I'm too close, that's when you need to kind of act on that kind of gut reaction. Just stop, get out and look, see what your distance is before you kind of continue to creep back. Or if you're traveling, the 4 to 5 mile per hour backing, and you lose somebody in your blind spot, that's when we need to stop. And then all the pedestrians, everybody else like that, making sure that you can see the driver and don't lose, eye contact and get in their blind spot, because that's when we could back over somebody or do a lot of property damage by backing into things. And that's what we've been doing at 52% in 2025, a lot of backing incidents. I know there's a lot there, but again, I'm going to highlight a lot of driving behaviors, hopefully kind of quarterly, how we're doing quarterly in 2026. We're going to really have a big emphasis on driving so we don't have some really bad auto incidents or bodily claims out there in 2026. Anything to add, Ben?
Well, we all have a vested interest being an employee-owned company now. We all have a vested interest in this stuff. It's you left me not many minutes left.
Sorry, Ben. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and real
stuff.
quick, so go ahead. I was just gonna add with spotters, if you're sitting around and anybody's backing into an area, especially if it's gonna be tight, doesn't matter if they're on your crew or not, go get in their mirror, make sure they see you, and then help them back in. It's always better to help than not. And even in my last career, when there were true emergencies, we were still using backers 100% of the time. So there's no excuse for it. If you see somebody backing, go help them.
Yep. Good point. Don't back up if you don't have to, right? All right. We're going to do some speed reading. Code of the week: respect the property of others. I'm going to let you guys read this one on your own. It's all about turning problems into solutions. One of the things that I wanted to say this morning is, we write these, I come up with these things a lot. And it's a lot to read sometimes for you all, but I see it this way. Each of us is part of a formula for success. We're engineering our futures here at ECI, and we're all part of something that's bigger than ourselves. If we all work to get better at the stuff that we talk about every week, including the safety and including all these other little tips that we have, our team and our house is going to improve and get better through time. We bought a big house. It's really fancy. It's really nice. It's really awesome. We got about 12 years to pay for it. When we get to that final payment, we want to still have an awesome, most improved house that we can. So we're all going to benefit from the rewards of all this work that we do to improve ourselves and to get better at what we say and what we do. So read this, turn problems into solutions. When you're faced with something, don't be overwhelmed with it. Turn it into take action and solve it, because we have a vested interest in this place. So I'll let you read that. I'm not going to read it to you today. The focus for the week on the equipment is that we are still cutting our fuel. We got some cold temperatures coming this weekend. We're doing a 20/80 right now, which is 20% kerosene or 1 part kerosene for 4 parts of off-road diesel. That's the diesel that we get out of the pump. If there's any questions with this, make sure to ask someone. All the guys in the shop or your supervisors can help you with getting the right mix. We don't want to have too much kerosene because if we overdo the kerosene, it's gonna damage the engines. And a good point that Chico brought up was use of that power service additive. We don't want to overuse that because that can screw things up as well. So we've got a new tank. I got a picture of it here, 500-gallon cube tank. It's out. You can kind of see where it is, kind of out towards behind the dumpsters. When you use that tank, log it into Fleetio, and it's tank number 192. Ask anyone out in the shop or in the yard, or talk to Ken Furno or Brian or any of the guys, and they'll help you with that tank. We've got an employee owner topic from Brian Harrington, and he can chime in if he wants, but I think he's just going to tell me to go for it, right? Okay. So remember to follow our guideline here for the lumber. Just remember, there is a lumber storage area that the concrete guys have out there. It's go out through this gate and it's out to the left. They're going to be working to improve it. Anything 3 foot or greater, if it's a reusable piece of lumber, bring it over there and save it and reuse it. The green dumpster, don't put plywood or painted lumber in the green dumpster. There's big signs on it. Don't throw the plywood or the painted lumber in there, because that's the stuff that we can burn it if it doesn't have any of that stuff in there, and then it doesn't cost us money to take it away. The red dumpster, that's the one you only want to put pressure treated, painted, and stuff that we can't burn. That one costs us big money to empty, and when we fill it full of a bunch of good stuff that we can reuse, it just costs us a bunch of money to have it hauled off. Thing we added is dunnage area. It's out behind the dumpsters, behind the Jersey barrier. You'll see it all stacked up, 4x4s, 6x6s, good blocking that we can use on some of our jobs. That's where that goes. So,
and also, if you have shipments come into your job, and if you have the option to keep the dunnage, please take the dunnage. You can always use it.
Yep.
If there's ever any question about where all this stuff goes, feel free to call.
Yep.
Try to answer your questions.
Thanks, Brian. This is a good way that we can put money in our pockets in the end of all this. The W-2s are out. If you didn't get it, contact Aaron. Qualified overtime reports. I think if you got any questions with those, I think you should have received or will receive that blue copy. And if there's any further issues, let Aaron know. We are having 401k meetings this morning I don't know if all the appointments are taken yet, but you can let Aaron know if you have a last minute request to try to get in to see Laura. Laura Strahler will be up there. Don't forget about the floating holiday. I left our annual employee giving in here one more time in case anybody wanted to share it. Mike Levick, he got his Class A CDL. He passed the test on the first attempt, as did Brad Pasker. Brad, I'll put you in print, next week to make sure we got it in the record, but, both Brad and Michael, I think both of them passed their tests on their first attempt. So congratulations.
They did both pass the first time.
Yeah. Hope, we're not going to threaten the driver. Not coming out to take your trucks. So don't worry. Okay. Project of the week. All right, Eric. We made a quick one. Eric, are you on?
I am. Yep, I'm right here.
We made a quick one for you because we knew this was going to be a tight one today.
Yep, this should be quick. So ECI, you can go ahead and drive, Ben.
Yep.
ECI was contracted by Beta Manufacturing to install a concrete pad with access drive for their nitrogen storage tank. Nitrogen is used during some parts of their assembly process. This was a small, simple filler job for us and involves civil, concrete, and paving divisions. The project is located at their new manufacturing facility at Patrick Leahy Burlington International Airport, adjacent to the loading dock. So here's just the site plan that we got, showing this access drive heading off from the existing parking lot and going up to beside the tank. You can't see it, but there's a electrical line that runs parallel to the access drive, and we had to switch the location of the access drive so that we didn't have to concrete encase that whole thing. So yeah, we did have to concrete encase. You can see us here excavating this at the beginning of the access drive, those conduits. So that was a change order because it wasn't shown on the drawings. So
Oh, they got some big power going out there, huh?
yeah, absolutely. I think there was, that's all 4-inch conduits.
Yeah.
So the boys dug that up. There's a picture of the conduit and the concrete encasement.
With the shadow picture on the right.
And there's a picture of the finished drive without pavement on it. And in the background, you can see the pad behind those
Oh, yeah.
bollards.
Right behind those 4 bollards. Yep.
I think you might be able to see the pad a little bit better here.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's finished. So that was an 8-inch thick pad with two mats of rebar.
Yeah. Did you guys pave that after? I guess we'll see in a sec. Oh, there's
There's
the
a
pad
picture
over
of it. Yep, formed up, ready to pour. Those pictures are a little out of order, I guess. Sorry about that.
there. We threw it together late. I threw it together late, so I might have messed them up. And-
Then we got winter. Right after they paved it, we got winter. So there's a snow-covered picture of the paved access
Yep.
path, and you can see the nitrogen tank in the background. The piping is stainless steel going into the building from the nitrogen tank. $140 a foot for that piping.
Wow.
And I think that's it. But I did want to mention one thing. So for a small project like this, I was looking at the foundation yesterday. We had 28 employees involved with that project between all the divisions. So I thought that was interesting.
I think it's cool. I think we did well on that little job, and it keeps everybody busy, and we can fit these little things in the winter, and it's a lot better than sitting out back looking for stuff to do, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. Thanks, Eric. Thinking about, I just came to my mind last night is to just thinking about Michael Colby. Michael Colby was my first foreman when I came here. He actually was here for almost 47 years. It's in his obituary, there was 46, but it was 1968 to 2015. There he is with the Vermont flag. He was in Vietnam. And he came right back from Vietnam running dozers in the jungle to working for ECI in 1968. He was one of the people that was very instrumental in things around here. He was a post commander at VFW, and he was one of the people that convince us to get this flagpole out here. And he was always doing things with the flags for us. And here's a picture of Mike back in the old days. That's in the early 80s. That's what he looked like when he was my foreman when I came here. And remember, we got a disclaimer on the safety stuff, but he's standing on the top of a structure there. And that would be one of those big telephone vaults that we used to put in. They're 7x14 on the inside, and you can see the ports in the end. But we did those for years, and you can see, I don't know how he got there, Matt or Tom.
He jumped. I want some
but
stone. Give me some stone.
But that man, I'm telling you, some of those guys in those days, you didn't want to mess with him because he was rugged in the day, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
There's he and I. That's probably in the 1997 or 8. We did a big job over at IBM, and I get the old guy to like me, I guess. There's a job we did way up in Newport at that church up there, and there's Mike in his later years, and I always like this picture because he was struggling with some of his physical things, but he was up there all strapped up and tied off. He's got his harness on, and he was happy that day. That was one of the last jobs that he really, really enjoyed working here. He helped us get to where we are today. That guy was dedicated. He had true blue blood, I'm telling you. So a lot of us miss him. So I'll turn it back over to you, Matt.
Thanks, Ben. If you're watching a group setting, please send that over to Tom or myself so we can capture attendance. Let's have a safe day. Let's drive safe. Let's work together, and let's have a good day.
Thanks, guys.